So Representative John Yarmuth called out another representative, Kevin Hern's economic illiteracy on C-SPAN. And I wish I could bring you guys this clip, but it wasn't posted anywhere where I could download it. So I'm going to post the link to that C-SPAN clip in the description box here, just to give a brief, the two quotes that really stood out to me. Kevin Hern says, we need to get our fiscal house in order. He's on the Ways and Means Committee. He's a Republican. That committee obviously chaired by the notoriously awful Richie Neal. And that's just plain not based in reality. It's actually even beyond that. It's not just wrong, it's illiterate. It's incoherent. Like if I said to you 2 + 2 is 7, that would be wrong. But if I said to you 2 + 2 is orange, that would be what this is. Totally incoherent, totally illiterate. Not at all based in the reality of our monetary system, right? So, and this is unfortunately echoed by quite a few members of Congress and quite a few powerful people and advisors and economists and educators and et cetera. We have this severe misconception, overwhelming misconception about how our monetary system operates and what spending amounts to and what various bills would mean in a fiscal or economic sense. So the response from John Yarmuth was fantastic. He went into a brief explanation of how how a fiat currency operates, that we are not financially constrained. This is obvious, etc. And then he says, quote, people need an education about how the monetary system works. People need an education about how the monetary system works. This is what we are all about at Real Progressives, you guys. This is so necessary because fiscal implications are often a part of the most major policies that we are talking about. And it's not only important to understand those so that you can combat the disingenuous arguments that are thrown at us. It's important for us to understand them as the people advocating for the policies so that we ensure that we're implementing the policies in a responsible and robust way and in the most expedited way possible. So we have to understand the underlying economic issues and the politics of all this stuff in order to get the most robust programs and the most necessary programs as quickly as we possibly can. And unfortunately, among many fantastic people on the left, there is somewhat of a blind spot for the economic stuff, and perhaps an unwillingness to address that blind spot. And that is why we are so adamant about making sure that we are educating about macroeconomics here at Real Progressives. So huge shout out to John Yarmuth, you guys. That's like not, that should be easy to do. It's not. Just acknowledging a simple reality about our monetary system, that is really difficult to do in our current political environment in DC, where everyone gets brain rot and starts thinking like Ronald fucking Reagan and going into this incoherent deficit fear mongering, right? And I also wanted to show you guys this tweet here. This is actually kind of funny. Carolyn Bordeaux is a congresswoman from Georgia. She actually followed me from her personal account, and then I tweeted this out, and I noticed before I did this show that she is no longer following me. She tweets, I sent a letter with, and she lists a number of other representatives, calling for greater fiscal responsibility measures. We can help the American people get back on their feet without saddling future generations with unmanageable debt. That's just one of those completely incoherent and detached from reality arguments that is often made. It's vapid nonsense. We're not strapping debt to any future generations. That's outrageous. As soon as you understand even the surface level of MMT, you know how fraudulent that argument is, okay? So I retweeted this and I said, do not listen to this kind of economically illiterate drivel. Learn MMT. Just really want to encourage you guys to look out for this kind of stuff because it's unfortunately all too prevalent. The DC consensus around these issues is entirely incorrect, and that's really not up for debate among serious economists and serious evaluators at this point. So that we still have a congressional body that, whether out of political convenience or misunderstanding, continues to espouse this kind of garbage is one of the biggest obstacles that stands between us lefties and the policy changes that we want, the institutional changes that we want. And having a voter base that is at least mildly informed on these issues is absolutely critical towards achieving our policy goals, even on issues that may not seem like they have much economic attachment, because MMT sort of pulls the mask off in terms of how corrupted our system is and how classist our system is, and just how little it matters, the typical types of political engagement that we think of as making a difference, like our votes and these kinds of things, how little those matter if the terms of the game have already been defined by the rich and powerful. MMT kind of it unlocks a much more clear view on how our society operates as a whole, right? So for all of these progressive issues that we're talking about, it's critical that not just the people in powerful positions understand MMT, but that all of us understand MMT and can call out that kind of drivel when we see it.